Good evening, race fans, and welcome to the Southern National Speedway, where tonight is the inaugural night for the Coffee Cup Racing League. It's back! Hope you have your cup of joe with you. Well, tonight you're going to need a cup of espresso, as it is the Espresso Super Late Model Series here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. As always, my name is Al Smith. I am the boss man here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, and we are proud to be bringing you tonight's racing action here. The last season we saw the Decaf Series. Well, they thought that was a little bit too tame, so they souped it up, gave us some espresso, and we are all amped up like you wouldn't believe here tonight at the Southern National Motorsports Park. Cars are parked on pit road as they get ready to go out for their qualifying session here tonight. It'll be the only week where they qualify. A very unique situation going to be under play here with the Coffee Cup Racing League, as they will have tonight's time trial. The top 10 will take a look at tonight's race information on Espresso Night, being presented by Arts Barber Shop. I want to thank Art for stepping up and, giving us a haircut to make us look good here at the Southern National Motorsports Park. Tonight's opening for the inaugural season, we'll have time trials. The drivers will have 2 minutes to go out there and put their best laps down to get in, lock themselves inside the top 10. We'll run an LCQ if needed. And on top, at the end of that, we have a 121 lap feature event coming at you to kick off the inaugural season for the Espresso Super Series. And that will have the top 10 cars inverted for the start of that one. They do have one set of tires in the pits, so we could see some tire strategy later on in this one. It is a beautiful night down here in Kenly, North Carolina, here at the Southern National Motorsports Park. 72 degrees Fahrenheit, 56 humidity with a slight wind of 2 miles per hour. This great new season for the Espresso Series could not be possible without the help from Dr. Noise Custom Graphics and Diecast, Hall Sheet Metal Heating and Air Conditioning, Misfit Motorsports, Empire Racing Team, and Arts Barber Shop. Tonight's presenting sponsor for the opening race for the Espresso Super Series. We are very excited here. Drivers meeting underway right now, so everybody's quiet. There you see Joe Schaefer's Epic Media number 6 parked down there by the concession stand. This is a great time to get up, grab yourself something good to eat, get on your feet, maybe stop down on Souvenir Alley. These drivers all have their souvenir trailers out there, but I can tell you this season is going to be a great one. 11 races in the schedule tonight at Southern National Motorsports Park is Espresso Night. As we said, next week we head to Myrtle Beach on April 21st. That is Dollar Hot Dog Night at the presented by Misfit Motorsports. They are picking up the tab for all your hot dog needs next Wednesday night. After that, it's Fan Appreciation Day as the series heads north to the Stafford Motor Speedway. And then we head to Thompson. That'll be Hall Sheet Metal Night on May 5th, and that'll kick off the month of May. 3 races in the month of May, then we have a week off. June 2nd, it will kick off the month of June to wrap up the season. We'll be done before the 4th of July weekend. A lot of great racetracks on the schedule, and after tonight, next week is 100 laps of racing. But tonight, 121 laps under the lights here. Mama always said, nighttime is the right time for racing, and these drivers are going to put on a great show for you here tonight. Drivers meeting, like I said, underway right now. Should be wrapping up momentarily. To the league admins for this season are Andy Lambert and A.J. Hamill. Right now we have about 25 cars logged in here tonight to do battle to put on a great show for you. And these super late models, brand new body on them, a little bit of horsepower tweak. These drivers will be hanging them out high, wide, and handsome here tonight to put on a great show. Well, they do what they need to do and wrap up this. We're going to step away and we'll pay some bills. Let's take a look at that brand new super late model that they're driving here tonight.
the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Welcome back to the Southern Motorsports Park, where tonight's qualifying is underway. Just about 15 seconds left in our qualifying session here tonight, and we will be able to give you tonight's qualifying lowdown. Remember, the top 10 drivers will get inverted, so we'll find out who is going to start on tonight's pole, virtue of that. And I can tell you right now, picking up the Arts Barber quick clip shot was the number 6 of Joe Schaefer. We're not going to have the LCQ that we talked about earlier. So let's take a look at our qualifying results here tonight on Arts Barber Night for the Espresso Super Series. This is how qualifying went down. It was Joe Schaefer Jr., the 2020 Decaf Late Model Champion for the Coffee Cup Racing League. He'll set fast time faster than the 39 of Bill Martin. Bladen Edwards would qualify third. Fourth went to Rick Spencer Walt in car number 31. You'll see him on track in car number 77, so you'll see a little bit of a difference in our scoring compared to what you see, but it'll be 31 on scoring, 77 on track. Curtis Critchley in car number 27 qualified fifth. Stephen Baker 6th, Brian Hacker, AJ Hamel, Matt Vade, and Jimmy McIntyre Jr. qualified 10th. That'll put McIntyre on the pole for tonight's feature event. Justin McDuff just missing the transfer. He'll start 11th. Outside of him will be the 0-2. That is John McIntyre. Justin Rigsby in car number 99. He'll roll off 13th. Andy Lambert in the 8 Vermont automobile. He'll roll off 14th. Chris Stump, Matt Eddy, Colin Phillip, Jeff Stiles. Your top 18 cars here in qualifying. Rounding out the field was Mike Holtzclaw, Christoph Reardon, Ken Farmer, Jeremy Watkins, Shane Jones, Scott Austin, and Matt McLean not putting in any time here tonight. Matt McLean in the 88 New York automobile. So 25 cars getting ready here tonight to give us a good time right now. Let's watch some of these cars go around the racetrack right now. There's Chris Stump in that number 98. He is fastest so far in our practice session. This will be winding up. Here is a quick warm-up period. And just like that, we are going to go green flag racing here. 121 laps to kick off the Espresso Super Series here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. As we go on the Hall Sheet Metal Heating and Air Conditioning pace car view, looking back at the field, and this is your starting grid. Starting on the pole in car number 81 out of Krogan, New York, that is the Misfit Motorsports. Car number 81, that is Jimmy McIntyre Jr. Starting outside of him in car number 8 out of Stogan, Wisconsin, it will be Matt Vade and the Integrity Farms DV8 Bowling All-Star Racing number 8. AJ Hamel and the Empire Racing Team's number 18 will start third. Outside of him will be Brian Hacker, the newest addition to the Empire Racing team. Steve Baker in car number 55 and Curtis Critchley will make up row number 3. Row number 4 is going to go Rick Spencer-Walt and Bladen Edwards in car number 72. Ninth starting spot will be Bill Martin, and Joe Schaefer Jr. will start 10th. Justin McDuff and John McIntyre will round out your front 6 rows. Let's look at the rest of your starting grid. Justin Rigsby in car number 99 will start 13th. Andy Lambert will start 14th. Inside of row number 8 will be Chris Stump. Outside of him, car number 25, that is Matt Eddy. Colin Phillip in car number 53 will roll off 17th. Jeff Stiles, Mike Holtzclaw, Christopher Reardon, Ken Farmer, Jeremy Watkins, and shotgun on the field will be Shane Jones, Scott Austin, and Matt McLean. That is your 25-star car field here for the Espresso Super Series. Getting ready to drop the green flag on their inaugural season. As they work off of turn number 4, green flag is up and we are underway. Down in the turn number 1, McIntyre gets a little bit loose contact with the 7, but we're under yellow flag. Here is the 22 of Mike Holtzclaw. Has gone around. He gets it pointed back in the right direction, but we are slowed in turn number 1. Let's take a look and see what happened to the snap-on, number 22 of Mike Holtzclaw. See him working through it, up off of the turn. Oh, the 46 Reardon got a little bit loose and came down and caught the right rear of that number 22 of Holtzclaw. He'll be able to point it back in the right direction. A little bit of damage on the right rear of that automobile. Let's take another quick look at it here as we look from high above. You see the 46 of Reardon get on the gas and just hung a left, and Mike was there. Something gone awry on that number 46 on the start. But he'll get it pointed back in the right direction, and we'll come back here to a live view. Remember, caution laps are counting this week. Is your race leader is the number 81 of Jimmy McIntyre. Field getting all spread out here, so we'll let him work it around here. Maybe a little bit of a glitch on the survey. Let's see where the pace car is they've picked up Scott Austin, not Matt. So those drivers should get the wave around. And here, when we go back to green flag racing. Super late model cars looking great here at the Southern National Motorsports Park. We got 10 more weeks after tonight. Next week, the series will head to Myrtle Beach Speedway. As the lights go out around the speedway. Little thing of uniqueness here in the Coffee Cup Racing League, they choose cone rule. So the drivers can choose on the front stretch whether or not they want the inside or outside. You see the front 2 go there. A.J. Hamill chooses the inside. He'll restart on the inside of row number 2. Green flag back in the hand of Barney the Flagman, and we are back underway. Drag race down to turn number 1. McIntyre to the inside. Vad working the outside. It'll get a little bit loose. That'll make them check it up. As Yeti's Meat Market, number 81, Jimmy McIntyre is going to lead the first green flag lap of the season. A good battle back here for your number 2, 3 spot is Critchley working the outside with the McConey setups. 27C working the outside of the speedway. Joe Schaefer Jr. working the outside as well. He'll work to the outside of the 11 of Brian Hacker. He'll work down the back stretch here. 55 is Steve Baker trying to work to the inside as well. A little bit out of shape. He collects it. As now Schaefer will tuck it back in line behind the Carbon Junction number 11 Illinois of Brian Hacker. Critchley stuck on the outside as they work their lap traffic. The 93 automobile of Jones works the high side of the racetrack. So the 93 of Shane Jones down a lap to our race leader already, Mike Holtzclaw. Down 4. We got one car around. That looks like to be the 02 of McIntyre. So John McIntyre going around here through the spin cycle. Let's see what happened to the number 02 to put us underneath our second caution of the evening. See him working the outside of the hell of a good dip. Number 20, that is Justin McDuff. Oh, had the check up for the 93 of Jones. And when he did, well, the Toyota Supra went around 4. McIntyre. Let's take another quick look at this one here. So we go on board with the Hall sheet metal onboard camera. See him have to check up when he did, got back on the gas, and it just broke it loose. Jones able to slip by, but we coming back, pointed back in the right direction. So the lights are still out. The drivers choosing their passcode. Jones going to get a lucky dog. See him working the outside of the racetrack right there. So now the lights are out on the Mustang. We're going to go green flag racing this time off a turn number 4 is Art, the pace car driver, Art Hamill. Going to take the Mustang down pit road. Green flag is up, and we're underway. And it is McIntyre and Vad ready to go. Critchley's going to get into that number 3 spot. Here comes Joe Schaefer Jr. on the outside of AJ Hamill. A good battle up front as they start to get eye gouge into turn number 3. McIntyre works the bottom of the racetrack. He is glued down there. Critchley now going to work underneath the DV8 bowling number 7 of Matt Vade. And he will do so. So put Critchley into your number 2 spot. AJ Hamill, Joe Schaefer Jr. runs back there in your number 3 or 4 and 5 spot. That's the battle for 5th with the 11 of Brian Hacker. As now the 39 of Bill Martin has gone around with the lighthearted Al, number 39. So we are slowed for the 3rd time here. Let's take a look and see what happened to Bill Martin. Bill was working behind the number 55 of Baker, had the check up, and oh, it looks like the 72X, that is Bladen Edwards out of Pensacola, Florida. Said, how do you do, mister, from Wisconsin? Nothing that I don't think Edwards could have done differently there, just a little bit of hard racing. Let's go on board with Bill Martin looking out the back. Had to check up, and oh yeah, Edwards had a run. Around he went, so Bill able to keep it off of the wall. He gets it pointed back in the right direction, but he lost a lot of track position. He was running in the 6th position at the time of the yellow flag, and now finds himself back here in the 21st position. Good news for Bill is we still have 99 laps left to go in the season opener for Espresso Night, presented by Arts Barber Shop. We want to thank Art and his staff up at the barber shop for, clipping the season the right way at the start of this one, and Art always a long-time supporter of the short track. As you see the outside pick by Bill Martin. So these guys, like I did mention, they do have the choose rule in effect here, and if you're not familiar with that, that means the drivers can choose whether they want the inside or outside line on these restarts. And well, the Eddie's Meat Market, number 81, up on the front of this one. He has chosen the inside every time. He's got a new dancing partner, the driver out of Sussex, Wisconsin. Up on the outside, he is going to try to get by the 81 of Jimmy McIntyre. Critchley and Hamill in row number 2. Then it's Vade and Hacker. Green flag is up, and we are back underway. Schaefer with a good run. They're going to almost think about going 3 wide. Critchley taking a look to the inside. Couldn't quite do it. But just like that, we are slowed. And it looks like Schaefer's going to get credit with getting the lead there on that restart. There's like multiple drivers involved in this wreck. The number 5 of Scott Austin's Ford Mustang is a little wrinkled up on the front of the Austin Designs entry. Let's take a look back and see what happened to bring out our 4th yellow flag. Down in the turn number 1 they go. McIntyre works to the outside, and it's going to happen in front of them. They check up, and well, Austin getting in there. It looks like the 20 of Justin McDuff also involved. The 85 automobile, that is Jeffrey Stiles, pointed in the wrong direction. Let's see if we can get another look here. We look at Justin McDuff as he works through turns 1 and 2. Oh, the 77 got into the 11 of Hacker, and that turned him around, and Justin goes for a spin, and then it was just on from there. Everybody having to woe up. So the 31 of Rick Spencer Walt, that's the 77 automobile. Let's take another peek at that. See him get down in the corner. Brian Hacker working the outside of the racetrack. Had the check up, and Walt just couldn't check up in time, and around it went. A few drivers getting banged up here. That was the 88 of Matt Eddy. He's being scored as number 25 on your scoring, but it's number 88. That is Matt Eddy out of Michigan. With the HowlRacing.com Eddy Performance, number 88. Joe Schaefer up on the front of this one is Barney the flag man going to get the green flag. We're back underway. A little bit of a tire spin there. Here comes Critchley. Critchley going to drive it down low underneath Jimmy McIntyre. They'll come off the corner, battling it door to door. Critchley's going to take that second position. McIntyre trying to get down low. Couldn't quite clear Matt Vade in the turn number 3. He'll clear him now. Is now Schaefer, Critchley, McIntyre, your top 3. Schaefer showing the way as we got good battle plate. Edwards working the outside of the racetrack. He works the outside of the Arts Barber Shop, number 18 of A.J. Hamill. Hamill runs in your 6th position. He's trying to hold off that number 72X of Edwards. Edwards now going to get down in line as they get single file. One car up the racetrack. That looks like to be the 59 of Ken Farmer in the Hall Sheet Metal automobile. He's gone for a spin in turn number 4. I believe there might have been slight contact to that number 59 automobile. With the Hall Sheet Metal Heating and Air Conditioning sponsored number 59 Coleman on the side of that car as well. Let's take a look and see what happened to Farmer. Racing side by side with Scott Austin down the back stretch. They went down to the turn number 3. Oh, net code right there. You saw the gap between them. Let's see here. Let's get another different look as we look from the Hall sheet metal blimp cam. See them go down into the corner and just, yeah, you see the gap between them. That's the dreaded word that we don't like to talk about. That is net code, where iRacing overthinks whether or not there was going to be contact and said, well, I'm going to tell you you are going to have contact. So that's what happened there to bring out our 5th yellow flag of the evening. 38 laps down. This is your top 10 running order. Is Joe Schaefer Jr. up on the front of this one. Critchley in car number 27C runs there in your second spot. Third spot is Jimmy McIntyre. He started on tonight's pole. Matt Vade in car number 8 runs there in fourth. Rick Spencer Walt runs fifth. AJ Hamill, sixth runner. And it is Bladen Edwards. He's up one spot here so far. Then Justin Rigsby runs eighth. Our big mover of the race is this man, the driver of the number 88, Howe Racing, Eddie Performance, number 88, out of Michigan. Rounding out your top 10 will be Brian Hacker out of Huntley, Illinois, with the Carbon Junction, number 11. Getting ready to go back green flag racing with 80 laps to go. This time by green flag is up and we're back underway. Critchley going to work the outside of the 6 of Schaefer. Here comes Vade on the outside. He'll drive it in deep, washing up the racetrack. They're still 2x2 all the way through the field. Schaefer going to lead that lap, but Critchley trying to get the momentum built up on the outside. Can he do it? Reared in slow on the back stretch. So far, we stay green. Schaefer, oh, he'll get touched by the 27 of Critchley, and up the racetrack he will go. Yellow lights out here as Joe Schaefer Jr. got tagged in the left rear to bring out the yellow flag. So we'll take and see what happened here. Let's watch with Joe Schaefer Jr. already there. Critchley had gotten into the rear. Take a look back here. You see him working through the corner. Critchley worked the outside, got to run down the front stretch, took a peek to the inside, and Joe trying to close the door, but Critchley's nose was there. And around goes the Epic Media sponsored number 6 of Joe Schaefer Jr. to bring out our 6th yellow flag of the evening. One driver unable to get the car started, and that's because it was a Chevrolet. That's the 88 NY of Matt McLean. McLean unable to get the car fired on pit road, and he will be our 25th runner. Mike Holtz also down on pit road as well. Now he has pulled the number 22 behind the pit wall, so he is out. Justin McDuff sporting a brand new paint scheme here tonight, the number 20. The driver out of Hudson Falls, New York, in the Hell of a Good sponsored entry. He'll be down one lap to a race later. He came down pit road to get some damage fixed. He'll get back out. He's not out of it yet, so you Justin McDuff fans out there, he's not out of it. They do have the lucky dogs on. But with the incident there, the race lead has gone back to Eddie's Meat Markets, number 81 of Jimmy McIntyre. Outside of him be Matt Vade. Spencer Walt now in your number 3 spot. Bladen Edwards in spot number 4. Green flag getting ready to come back out as Barney the flagman waves it. We are back underway. Body going to hold on the outside with a DV8 Flow Bowling sponsored automobile. He's got the nose out in front of Jimmy McIntyre. McIntyre works the bottom of the racetrack. He holds it tight to the inside. Vade on the outside. Here comes Walt and Edwards still running door to door. So your top 4 drivers still side by side as they work around the racetrack. A little bit of a loose episode off of turn number 4 for both of your drivers out in the front of this one. That stacks up Edwards and Walt behind them. Edwards trying to work the outside of the racetrack around Spencer Walt is set as what Vade is doing. This battle here is great as that we go up above watching this battle from the Hall Sheet Metal blimp cam. You see our first 3 rows still side by side. That time Walt got a little bit sideways. That's going to open the inside line for Edwards. He will clear him for your 3rd position. Justin Rigsby starting to make a run as we got 1 car sideways. That looks like to be the 98 of Chris Stump. And Stump has gone around in turn number 1. Oh, and the 93 of Jones comes in and hits him hard in the right rear quarter panel. We'll have to see if that has damaged the number 98. Let's take a look and see what happened to Chris Stump as he pulls down on pit road. See him working here. Oh, stacked up a little bit of a bumper tag. Here comes Andy Lambert on the outside with a black rifle, and he just got into the back bumper. And around goes the 98, and his Stump trying to get it going, and his pulls back up, and Jones nowhere to go. Let's go on back with the Misfit Motorsports. See him working there. Dr. Noise himself, Bill Martin, trying to work his way back through. And Andy Lambert just gets into the corner a little bit harder than Chris Stump could. And around goes the number 98. And then Jones comes in and does hard contact. So Stump down on pit road, getting some damage fixed to that number 98. An unfortunate start to the season for the driver out of Tip City, Ohio. Making a long tow down here. Matt Vade is your race leader. The 81 of McIntyre runs 2nd. Bladen Edwards up 5 positions. He runs in your 3rd spot. Justin Rigsby started 13th on the grid here tonight. He runs in your 4th spot currently, depending on how they do the choose cone. He might be able to move up or stay there. So it looks like he'll choose the outside. AJ Hamill's going to go to the outside of Rick Spencer Walt. Matt Eddy will choose the inside. The 11 Illinois Brian Hacker will go to the outside. Bill Martin making his way up through. Green flag going to come out this time. Off of turn number 4. Barney waves the green flag. Art Hamill down on pit road in the pace car. McIntyre with a great run off the corner. Vade's got some company to the inside as Edwards going to fill the void down low. McIntyre with a power move to the outside. He'll lead lap 61. Next time by, it'll be 61 laps in, 60 to go. It'll be the halfway point. This time by, Barney will give him the cross flags. AJ Hamill make a little contact, and around goes Rigsby. Justin Rigsby going to go around with 1 car backwards. I believe that is the 88 of Matt Eddy. It is, and Eddy will get that Eddy Performance HowRacing.com entry pointed back in the right direction. The lights come on. Just like that, we are up to yellow lights back on here for the number 88 of Matt Eddy going around. Let's take a look back here and see what happened. You see them racing side by side. Looks like maybe the Rigsby lost the nose and then they checked up in front, and around goes the number 88 of Matt Eddy. As that will be our yellow flag. How about this driver up 9 positions? That's the driver of the 53, the Carbon Junction number 50, or the Norwal Racing entry. That is Colin Phillip out of St. Bonnie, Minnesota. It's a nasty Narwhal Racing. He sits there in your 8th position currently. Just past the halfway point, let's do a full field rundown. McIntyre up on the front of this one. Bladen Edwards runs second. Matt Vade in car number 8 runs in your third spot. Rick Spencer Walt runs fourth. Bill Martin has rebounded to your fifth spot. AJ Hamill runs sixth. Steve Baker is seventh. Colin Phillip runs eighth. Andy Lambert ninth. And rounding out your top 10 is the number 99 of Justin Rigsby. Brian Hacker runs in the 11th spot in car number 11. Outside of him will be the 02 of John McIntyre. In the 02, Joe Schaefer Jr. back to your 6th position. Jeff Stiles, Scott Austin, Curtis Critchley working his way back towards the front. Ken Farmer, Justin McDuff, Matt Eddy, and Jeremy Lyon Watkins. Drivers down on pit road or back on the racetrack. That's the 46 of Reardon. Chris Stump still down on pit road. Shane Jones, Mike Holtzclaw, and Matt McLean. Here's a green flag, comes back out. That is your field. That's how your drivers run. Edwards trying to beat the 81 of McIntyre off of turn number 2, and he's got a half car length advantage. Down in the turn number 3, it'll be McIntyre trying to paint the yellow line, but it'll be Edwards picking up your race lead. Here comes the 77 of Walt working the outside of Vade as they work off of turn number 2. Walt up on the concrete barrier that checks up the outside line. Bill Martin now works underneath the 77 of Spencer Walt as that is the battle for your 4th position as they'll work it door to door. Vade taking a peek down to the inside of McIntyre. Jimmy McIntyre works the outside of the racetrack as he'll try to hold off Vade for your number 2 position. Great battle here as they work door to door in the turn number 3. Steve Baker making his way towards the front. Oh, is Walt going to get a little bit loose? He has to correct it. He's going to lose 2-3 spots. Here comes the Arts Barber Shop. He's looking to clip the bottom of the racetrack. Move AJ Hamill into that 6th spot. Walt not done yet. He tries to get the momentum built up as we've got them all stacked up back here. Curtis Critchley trying to make his way by the number 85. That is Jeff Stiles out of Lexington, Kentucky. And they've got the 5 of Scott Austin. That is 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th. The outside of the racetrack really starting to show the momentum here as now Austin's battling the 27C of Critchley. As Edwards up on the front of this one, up to a 2nd lead over Bill Martin. Bill Martin has moved in the 2nd. Steve Baker up to 4th. And a good battle here is AJ Hamill cuts underneath the 88 or the 81 of McIntyre. Talked to McIntyre earlier on as the cars were rolling through tech, and this is not one of his favorite tracks. Starting to get a little bit of a feel for it, but not one of those tracks that he looks forward to coming to. Just said he was here to hopefully have a good solid night and move on to next week. AJ Hamill runs in your 5th spot. Spencer Walt now back to 7th. Brian Hacker working the outside of the racetrack as we go on board with the Dr. Noise onboard camera. Same working the outside. He's got Joe Schaefer to the inside as now the yellow lights have come back out once again as Curtis Critchley has gone around. We will see what happened to Critchley to bring out our yellow flag. You see him working the outside in the turn number 1 of Jeff Stiles. Stiles gets a little bit loose and Critchley just trying to cross him up and nowhere to go. Light contact, but yellow flag come out. The yellow flag coming out. We're going to take a quick break. Bladen Edwards is your race leader. We'll be right back here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. You're watching the Espresso Super Series.
Bowling brings people together.
Right down the middle. You got it. Uh-oh. Good job.
See what you can do, man.
Oh. Wait.
That's right there. Connect with family and friends. Go bowling.
And welcome back here to the Turn 3 Racing Network, where you're watching the inaugural race of the Coffee Cup Racing League's Espresso Super Series. Tonight's race is brought to you by Arts Barber Shop. You want to look your best, you got to get a cut above the rest. It's Arts Barber Shop. Also brought to you by Empire Racing Team and Dr. Noise Custom Graphics and Diecast. As we are getting ready to go back, green flag racing, the green flag back out as we are back underway. Edwards showing the way as he's got Bill Martin out to the outside in the Lighthearted Ale sponsored automobile. Steve Baker making his way towards the front as we've got him stacked up, double file all the way through the field. Edwards and Martin trying to make a bed. Now they'll get single file down the backstretch. Good battle back here for your third spot. Vade working to the inside of his Hacker gets loose and he'll get into the end. Sixth of Joe Schaefer. Not sure if he had help or not, but his car took a hard right into the Epic Media sponsored number 6. Tonight is not the night for Joe Schaefer. He's at fast time, and that's been about the highlight for this driver out of Wisconsin. He'll have to pull that automobile down to pit road, see if they can make some fixes to that number 6. And as they do that, let's take a look back and see what happened. We caught you late there. Let's take and go back once again to Joe Schaefer. Hard contact. Let's go here. We got a better look at it now down the backstretch. See him working door to door with the number 11. Oh, Hacker got a little bit loose and then had to catch it up the racetrack into the 6 of Schaefer. And then hard contact. And then John McIntyre comes in with his tribute to Paul Walker with that super and just kisses the passenger side door. Let's go on board in car with the Hall sheet metal onboard camera. See Hacker get loose there and overcorrection just up and then hard contact to the outside wall for the driver out of Sussex, Wisconsin. So he is down on pit road. Lights are out on the pace car. We're going to go back green flag racing here on Espresso Night presented by Arts Barber Shop. Edwards and Martin. Baker and Vade in row number 2. Green flag is out and Bill Martin on the loud pedal. He'll lead them down in the turn number 1. Edwards into your number 2 spot. Still good side-by-side battle back here as they will scratch and dig for that number 3 position. Baker works to the bottom of the racetrack underneath Vade into turn number 1. He'll take over that position. Here comes A.J. Hamill. He has been quietly inside the top 10 all night long. He's one of those drivers that likes to be there at the end. He'll have to check up and contact. Everybody's scattering. More contact down in the corner. We've got contact as yellow lights coming out. Eddie up the racetrack. John McIntyre has gone around here as Art Hamill pulls the iRacing.com Mustang pace car back out onto the racetrack. Let's see what happened to John. See him a little bit of contact there. Then down into the corner, I believe Matt Eddy up the racetrack. Brian Hacker also involved with that one. Take another look here as Brian Hacker got contact with the 99er Rigsby and then Styles to the outside. That clips the number 88 of Eddie. Everybody gets pointed back in the right direction as we come back alive here. Working lap number 96 is Bill Martin. Was ready to go on that last restart. Not sure if Blaine Edwards in car number 72, the driver out of Pensacola, Florida, spun the tires possibly. These super late models with a lot of horsepower for these Hoosier racing tires. Your big mover of the race at this current point is the Austin Designs. Car number 5, that is Scott Austin. Driver out of Manhattan, Illinois with the Schilling Lumber Austin Designs sponsor number 5. He is up 11 spots so far. As the field will get doubled up here, you'll see where the drivers will choose whether they're going to go inside or outside. As we see the Hull sheet metal onboard camera on was Art Hamill drives the Ford Mustang. Field backing off them. We're going to go back green flag racing. Hamill down and away. Green flag is up and we're back underway and Edwards ready to go on that start. He'll get around Bill Martin. Contact back here in the back of the field. Everybody keeps it pointed in the right direction. Andy Lambert works the outside in the 8 Vermont around Jimmy McIntyre, but McIntyre going to hold on to that position. That's the battle for your 8th spot. Here comes Justin Rigsby. It's the battles of the Justins. Justin McDuff works the outside, trying to get a hell of a good run on the outside of the speedway. One car up, and that is the 77 of Walt and Andy Lambert. Hard contact. We are on board for it as we are slowed for the 31 of Rick Spencer. And that car is a crab a walking. The rear end knocked out of that one. Let's see what happened to the 77. Climbed the wall. Owen Critchley just nowhere to go. And around he went. Jeff Stiles hard contact as well, along with Ken Farmer in car number 59. We get another look at it here. Up and around he goes. So a tough break here as we come back live. The 77 down on pit road. Christopher Reardon getting the lucky dog here. That'll put him just one lap in the rears. Actually, yeah, one lap to the rears for car number 46. Just a few cautions ago, he was more than 2 laps down. Now he'll come down pit road once again. We'll see what the 46 does. He stops in his pit box. Maybe fix a little bit more of that damage as the pace car heads into turn number 3. Already just 16 laps to go. Bill Martin has gone to the back to the front in the light-hearted Ale-sponsored number 39 as we go on board with the Dr. Noise custom graphics and die-cast onboard camera for this restart. Vade ready to go, and he'll jump on the gas pedal. The outside working good. You look out the backside now. As they come off the corner, it'll be Vade with the race lead, but Bill Martin not giving up on that inside. This time by it'll be 14 laps to go 14 to go. Vade working to the outside. And it is Martin to the inside as they work it door to door in the turn number 3. Steve Baker works underneath the 18 New York of A.J. Hamill. The Green Mountain Madman holding on to your 4th position. Critchley back to 5th as contact up at the front of this one. Bill Martin opens the inside line for Baker, and here comes Steve Baker. Baker trying to make it underneath Vade. Vade will slam the door shut in the turn number 1. Critchley down low as Jimmy McIntyre will work around the outside, and here comes Justin McDuff. Justin McDuff, we saw him involved in a wreck earlier on. He has moved his way back into the 7th position, right in front of the side-by-side battle of Scott Austin and Jeff Styles. Styles up the racetrack, and around he will go. Yellow flag coming out with just 10 laps to go. Jeff Styles and the Good Rent Services number 85 had gone around on the back stretch. Colin Phillip also involved in this wreck. Let's take a look here as we watch the number 85 of Styles. Gets the outside, climbs the wall, and right down in front of Andy Lambert. Lambert sends him around. And that will bring out the yellow flag. Not sure where Colin Phillips' issue was. Let's take a look here and watch the Carbon Junction number 53. He's working underneath Matt Eddy. Oh, just loses it down the backstretch in hard contact to the inside wall. We'll bring out the yellow flag here once again. So Styles getting pointed back in the right direction. Everybody getting into their position here as we get ready to go back. Green flag racing. Bill Martin and Matt Vade up on the front of this one with 6 laps to go. Next time, Pine, it'll be 5 laps to go in the season opener for the Espresso Super Series on Espresso Night, presented by Arts Barber Shop. Hope you're enjoying tonight's broadcast here of the Espresso Super Series. See if the inside line fires this time off for turn number 4. Into the restart zone they go. Green flag back up, and Bill Martin, a much better restart this time in the turn number 1. He'll lead Vate off of turn number 2, and here comes Baker now. Baker working to the inside of the number 8 of Vade. One car around, more trouble in the back of the field, and we are under the yellow flag once again. Brian Hacker involved, Ken Farmer involved, Andy Lambert and Justin Rigsby all involved in our latest yellow flag here. Let's take a look back here and see what happens. We watch the battle. Justin Rigsby worked the outside of the Black Rifle Coffee Cup Priority Auto number 8. He had to check up, and Andy Lambert getting to the back of him. Hacker goes around. Ken Farmer just nowhere to go. One of those stack-up deals like you see on the highway. Everybody trying to get pointed back in the right direction, and they will do so. So just like that, it is time to go to overtime here in Espresso Night. Hopefully your cup of joe didn't go flying on that one. If not, these drivers will fill it back up for you as they get ready to put on a great finish here. As we head into overtime. 3 drivers officially out of tonight's race. Matt McLean, Mike Holtzclaw, and Shane Jones. Drivers down on pit road still trying to fix the damage are. There's number 98 of Chris Dump, Joe Schaefer, Rick Spencer Walt and Bladen Edwards all on pit road right now as we're going to come to 1 to go this time by. Green flag getting ready to come back out. Who's going to be the winner of night number 1 for the Espresso Super Series? Down in the turn 1 they go. It'll be Vade with a great start on the outside. Can Bill Martin get the momentum on the bottom? He can. He's got a half a car in the turn number 3. A.J. Hamill wrestling for that third and final podium spot here tonight. They come to get the white flag. Final trip around the speedway. Bill Martin trying to clear Vade. He will do so. The battle for third rages on as they work down in the corner. Vade going to take it down low. Contact. A.J. Hamill up the racetrack. Here comes Critchley. A.J. Hamill's going to get second. Critchley will come home in second. Baker fourth. Austin, McDuff, McIntyre, Jeremy Watkins, Matt Eddy, and Colin Phillip round out your top 10 in what was an exciting last lap there. Unsure what was going to happen is now the 39 of Bill Martin going to come down here on the front stretch. He will burn it down, and he will leave night number 1 as your race leader. Heartbreak for the number 8 of Matt Vade. He ran a great race all race long. Unofficially will cross the line in the 11th position as we see Bill Martin going for the Polish victory lap. As he does that, we're going to get ready to set up the Arts Barber Shop post-race show. We'll be right back here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. You're watching the Espresso Super Series.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Good evening and welcome back here to the Arts Barber Shop post-race show here tonight on Espresso Night, as we have caught up with our top 3 here on the front stretch, and we are going to start with our third place finish driver, and that is the driver of the number 55 of Steve Baker. And Steve, that was a wild race. We saw you quietly running inside the top 10 most of the night, and then you come up with the cream has risen to the top of the Espresso Cup as you finish third here tonight. Talk us through your night.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. Pretty action-packed. Got into a little trouble or just got hung up behind a yellow early on, so got shuffled back. But kind of just slowly made our way back through and had some good racing there at the end. Want to apologize to Matt there. Didn't mean to get into him. Just wasn't expecting the checkup rate. So not my intention at all. But yeah, overall a good night, good finish for us.
Coming into tonight, it was the opening race of the season. What kind of expectations did you set for yourself coming into a brand new season for the Coffee Cup Racing League?
Really just to finish. I haven't been in these cars in a while. So just to come out and try and have a respectable night and not end up on the wrecker. So
I would say mission accomplished with that here tonight. Well, come home third, and who makes it all possible for you?
Yeah, just thanks to Turn 3, you, the admins here, and SRTV Network, sponsor on the hood. That should cover it.
Well, congratulations on your third place finish here tonight, Steve, and we'll see you next week at Myrtle Beach.
Thanks, man.
Oh, shoot. Sweet. We can still watch.
That's the third place finisher, Steve Baker, here on the front stretches. Now, we move into our second place finisher, the driver. That is out of Vermont, New York. It says New York on your car. Your roster got me a little confused there for a minute, but we know that you drive the Arts Barber Shop number 18 NY and AJ Hamill. We saw you work in the outside line. We saw you work in the inside line all race long. Talk us through this racetrack. This racetrack came out pretty racy here tonight.
Yeah. Text Muth on that. He'll straighten you out on where I'm from.
It says Morrisville, Vermont, so we'll go with that.
Yeah. I'm from some of those places, somewhere in that area. Boy, when we had Green Flag Racing, it was a lot of fun. Maybe because you had to be so careful not to loop the car or get into somebody, but I got beat on the outside. I got beat on the inside. I beat a guy on the outside, inside. It was both lanes were available depending who you were racing and where it was on the restart, I guess. Crazy wild. We got, if anybody actually was watching and is still watching, there's a lot of new guys to each other, and this is probably not the place we should have debuted the series. But things will smooth out. Guys will come in line or hit the road, and we'll have some better racing going forward. Ask me a different question, because I just got on an admin rant there.
Talk about the close quarter race, and we knew coming into tonight a lot of new guys, as you just touched on. Overall, the racing was very exciting and entertaining from my seat up here in the booth. We saw a lot of side-by-side racing, and really looking forward to hopefully seeing some more of that the rest of the season. Next week we head to Myrtle Beach for $1 hot dog night, and the rumor is that the Misfit Motorsports group is buying everybody at least 2 hot dogs. Is that true?
I cannot confirm or deny. I have to check with Jimmy McIntyre on that after we're done. It was fun. Like I was saying, when guys were given and taken, it was great. And, a lot of this stuff actually was racing deals. It was this new super late, people still getting used to it to some extent. And when somebody checks up, maybe it doesn't slow down as quick as you think. And I got into it. I turned Rigsby. I feel like crap for that. It's certainly, obviously not intentional, and I barely touched him, but broke the rear wheels and around he went. So it's fun when it was green. Some other things weren't so fun, but I had fun. That's what we're here for, is have fun. Hope you had fun.
I had a blast up here. The only thing is I'm all amped up on espresso now. So good thing is we got some more racing coming up here.
It's free, part of your contract.
Next week we head to Myrtle Beach. What's your outlook with this team headed to Myrtle Beach?
I hate that place.
So good then.
Yeah, well, last time I hated it, I almost won a race, and then, Bill came along and ruined it, because that's what Bill does.
The dream killer.
No, I gave that one away, but I'll be starting in the back, so my strategy will be try not to wreck, and we'll see where we end up.
Well, congratulations on coming home on the podium here tonight. One spot behind that number 39, but overall, a very good night for you. A good way to kick off the season. Who makes it all possible for you?
Yeah, hey, finally got to put the sponsored car on the podium instead of wrecking it in turn 2 for once, which sadly has happened twice. So, Arts Barber Shop, SLC, Orca Coolers, All the guys at Empire Racing Team, unfortunately, they all got destroyed at some point tonight. Looks like Justin recovered for a respectable 6th considering, but everybody else got knocked around. Hoping for better luck next week for the guys. Say hi to Mom and Dad watching at home and Uncle Charlie watching this weekend. Thank you for jumping in the booth. I guess I got to go rewatch this.
Who painted that car for you there?
Oh, it's the Dr. Noise fella. I thank him for the
great looking digs.
the good looking hot rod.
There you go. That is your second place finisher here tonight. The driver out of Morrisville, New York. That is, or Vermont. Can I combine them? I guess. It is AJ Hamill is your second place finisher, and that leaves us with the one and only tonight's feature event winner, the driver of the Light-Hearted Ale, sponsored number 39. That is Bill Martin. And Bill, you had your work cut out for this one here tonight.
That's true. You noticed. Luckily, I got the old spin out early, so I had enough time to recover. But I had no outside line starts except on the front row. So if that didn't happen, I wouldn't have gone through the field like that. It was almost entirely the luck of the restart that got me back to the front. Once we went to normal restarts, the cone idea was ambitious.
Well, once we saw some of the restarts where the guy on the bottom either had a very slow takeoff or the guy on the outside just a little bit more momentum on those starts. Were you interested in trying to go up top there? We saw that Matt Vade got to your outside there on one restart, and Blade and Edwards as well to your outside, and they kind of got a little jump on you, but that bottom side prevailed. You had a great drive off. Were you thinking about going up there at all when you saw a couple of those guys being able to roll so well on the outside?
Nope, because you just mentioning it reminded me that I could have chosen the first place. So no. That's one of the it's worse at this track just because of the banking and it being as short as it is, but one of the downsides to having a restart where everybody goes on green is it can be really difficult to tell where the car next to you is, and it's insanely easy to jump a start, and the distance for a person who, say, is on the outside, who's supposed to be like a second place car, gets a jump on the inside car, there's a pretty long distance before they'll get black flagged for it. And, I mean, you can't police something like that. So it's just a byproduct of having every start be on green, which I'm not a fan of. I'd prefer whoever the leader might be get the advantage of their position. And it usually ends up with a lot less yellows just because you don't get the stack up. You know, the whole tailgating rule. The more tailgating there is, the more of a crapshoot everything ends up being once you get to the next corner.
Well, you managed to come back through, and you pick up the win. Next week we head to Myrtle Beach, and it sounds like until we get a little bit of a handicap built in, you're going to have to start tail next week. How's the outlook going to be coming from at least 25th from Myrtle Beach next week?
I have no outlook. I do not. Well, you already know this, but I don't care really where I finish, as long as I get to race with cool folks, and there's a bunch of cool folks in here, and it's cool also to see several people from different leagues that I've been a part of, kind of all conglomerating into this Wednesday thing. So if I get a good finish, that's cool. If I don't really give a crap. I'll still finish the race as long as I can. You know that. What was it? The first week of Upstate, I crashed. I basically died, but I still finished the race. I was like 30 laps down, but I finished the dang thing. So yeah, it's just a good time to drive around.
Well, before we let you go, we'll let you thank your sponsors here as you get to park it in Victor Lane on the inaugural night for the Espresso Super Series. Who makes it all possible?
In real life, my pocketbook, by paying for this wonderful simulator. In the fake world, I guess because I forgot to change my paint job, I only use this one usually once per season. So I guess this is the race for Light-Hearted Ale car. This is a paint job. So I went to a party and my friend was drinking one of these beers and I was like, hey, that'd look good on a race car. So
Definitely looks good.
Yeah, I just turned into a race car. It has such unique colors. Like, no one ever uses those colors on a race car. I should probably be the one that does it. And then I bought the beer. I had it for the first time last week, and it sucked so bad. And then I had a second one. I was like, all right, it's not that bad anymore. So it's an acquired taste. It's kind of hoppy, but it's pretty good. So thanks for no actual money to Lighthearted Ale, and of course the NARF, the Native Rights Fund for native rights, so they get, the rights that they deserve that are awarded to them, except not always, because America, how it goes sometimes. Anyways, thanks, fake sponsors.
Well, congratulations, Bill. We'll see you next week at Myrtle Beach. Congratulations, and why don't you go have one of those to celebrate this win?
I will, even though I started the race with a Busch Light.
All right, congratulations, Bill. We'll see you next week. That is Bill Martin, tonight's feature event winner here on opening night for the Espresso Super Series, and it was a great one. Bill Martin comes home the win in overtime. AJ Hamill will come home in your number 2 spot. Remember, these results that are populating your screen right now, all unofficial at the moment. As we take a look here, that's where Bill Martin picked up the win. Steve Baker would come home in your 3rd spot. AJ Hamill second. Curtis Critchley will rebound for a nice 4th place finish. Scott Austin rounding out your top 5. Justin McDuff and Jimmy McIntyre Jr. finished 6th and 7th. 8th spot to Jeremy Watkins. Matt Eddy, after going through the spin cycle a few times, he'll come home in spot number 9. And rounding out your top 10, the good wrench number 85 of Jeff Stiles. Brian Hacker in the number 11 car will finish in your number 11 spot. The 53 of Colin Phillip will finish 2nd. Matt Avade was running inside the top 3 and unfortunately will come home in the 13th position. Christopher Reardon had a night that he would rather forget but comes home 14th. Justin Rigsby, Andy Lambert, Ken Farmer, and John McIntyre rounding out your top 18. Rounding out your field, all these drivers having issues, multiple laps down. Bladen Edwards will come home 19th. Rick Spencer Walt, Joe Schaefer Jr., Chris Stump, Shane Jones, Mike Holtzclaw, and Matt McLean rounding out your 25 car field. Next week, we head to the Myrtle Beach Speedway for Dollar Hot Dog Night presented by Misfit Motorsports, as they will bring us all the action next week. But tonight, you have been watching the Espresso Super Series, and it was brought to you by Empire Racing Team, Arts Barber Shop, the cut above the rest, Hall Sheet Metal Heating and Air Conditioning. Well, that will do it for us here tonight as Bill Martin picks up the win, as we will move on to week number 2 next Wednesday night. Broadcast will start at 8:55. As always, you've been watching the Turn 3 Racing Network. My name is Al Smith. They call me the Boss Man. Give the like here on the subscription. If you are new to the YouTube channel, hit subscribe, and you'll get notification every time the Coffee Cup Racing League goes green flag racing on Wednesday night. We also have racing every night of the week here, all the way from the dirt tracks, all the way to the high banks of Daytona, and all the way to the road courses, everything in between. We are your one-stop shop for everything sim racing here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. But on behalf of AJ Hamill, Andy Lambert, and everybody here at the Coffee Cup Racing League, we congratulate Bill Martin with picking up the inaugural win on Espresso Night presented by Arts Barber Shop. Until next week, we will keep the racing on the racetrack, and we'll see you at the races.